Well, Patrick Reed is one of those players, those 10 players on 4 under par, known as Mr. Weekend in these parts, but he's had a really good opening round here in Chicago as he seeks a first ever LIV Golf victory. He's 3rd in the overall standings, so he could put the cat amongst the pigeons still, and he's down on the practice tee with Troy Mullins.
Yes, Arlo, I'm here. Mr. 67 today, 4 under. Great round, would you say? Yes?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You left a lot out there.
Yeah, it was manageable. Hit the
You
ball
said
well.
your putter was a little cold.
It was.
You didn't give it a kiss? Didn't warm it up?
I thought taking it into the room every night to get warming it up. I guess not. I mean,
Well, talking about warming up, you're one of the players that comes out here and does a lot of different things. So I want to go through some of those. The towel drill. Explain. You sometimes use a glove. Is it the same thing or is that different?
Well, I usually always start with the towel drill. For me, it just kind of keeps my arms connected, and when I'm kind of put under both arms, now they can't break independently.
Okay.
And I have an issue, if anything, sometimes I'll just kind of break the arms, the club gets behind me in the takeaway. But with the towel, it allows you to kind of move and make sure it stays in front of you the whole time. And it's an easy way for me to just kind of ease into warm-ups on kind of make sure body's moving rather than just moving it with the hands.
Okay, let's watch a couple. There's so many interesting swings out here, but I think, would you say that your swing is single plane? Is that, would you say that? It seems like you're always staying very connected, right?
Yeah,
Always connected to your
yeah,
sternum.
I mean, I would say it's pretty, for me, it's all about just kind of keeping the club in the center of the chest and kind of using the body to turn, so you're not having so much rotation with the hands.
Okay.
And for me, it's kind of really just kind of a simple move, kind of a simple swing rather than trying to change planes or change angles. Try to almost feel like it just goes up and down with the body. And if I want to hit a draw, aim a little right, kind of let the face close a little bit. If I want to fade it, aim a little left, and kind of work it that way. Still working on trying to get that fade down though.
Okay. Now for this drill, like how many balls would you hit, and you're just hitting parallel to parallel?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, because it's almost impossible if you use it, for me to take towel, if I try to get all the way to the top, I feel like I start tipping.
Okay.
So for me, it's just kind of really just hit 10, 15, or however many I feel, getting the feel correct, where I'm like, all right, body's engaged, body's moving.
Would you mind showing us just a couple in a row?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to kind of see that tempo and where you're taking the club back and through. Okay. So you kind of let it go on the follow through. That's not really where we're caring about it.
If I get a little longer on the backswing, the farther you go through, the hands will lift and it'll take it out.
Is that because it's just a little pitch shot? What club are you using?
It's just a pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge?
So I'll usually start with a pitching wedge or a sand wedge to kind of get that feel.
So if someone wanted to do this at home, are you taking like your normal stance, or are you kind of just narrow it a little bit?
I'd take it where if I were to hit a 75% swing.
Got it.
So some people keep the same width on 75ers. I go a little bit more narrow just so that I can feel like I drive a little bit more through the ball and forward. And so for me, I just kind of get in where I feel like it's 75% swing, and then it's all about just kind of keeping the club in center and not using the hands, more to the chest.
Now how, let's say if you're moving to a full swing,
Then
how
I go
do you
glove.
stay connected even though you're letting go of that pressure under your arms? Does that make sense? How
By
are
using
you?
one of these.
Then you move to a glove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we move to the glove. But a great trick is to move to the rain glove, because if it drops and it's wet, you're not ruining the other glove.
What rain? Okay, let's see. So now it's just
So now
you.
with keeping it under, I mean, I have that same feeling with the towel, but then now I'm not gonna disconnect.
Okay.
So with the glove underneath, it allows the club to stay kind of in the center and short, so that I can drive forward from there. And I usually start here and hit like some 75ers.
Now you're not a short hitter by any means. I mean, your average today was, I think, 304. Some would say, do you need a longer backswing than that to generate the same amount of power?
I do.
You do? You need it longer than that?
Well, with a driver, if I feel like it gets to there, I feel too short, and then I get jerky and I yank it from the top.
Okay.
So a lot of times, I mean, as long as you get a full kind of turn and coil, I think that's why with the towel allows you to turn. It's not sitting here and going this way with your arms.
Right.
So if I were to sit here and go the same swing with the towel and have it where the upper body and the chest is moving and you're coiling, ball's going to get at least to the green. And if I were to sit here and just arms it and use your hands and do that same distance, it's not going to go as far. So it's about getting the big muscles in the swing. And so with the glove and with the towel, it allows me to feel like I turn and coil so that I don't need to get long. John Rahm, Tony Finau, they do a great job on turning and coiling, and because of that, they're able to stay short. But then you get other guys that if they disconnect, you're actually losing power. Even though it's getting long, you're losing the power because you're not using the big muscles.
Okay. So once you get through this, you do the towel, we do the glove. I've seen you do this stick drill, and I need some help with this one.
Okay.
I want to understand
the alignment one?
No, the one where you put it here.
Well, so that's with alignment though. So you can't put that out there without doing alignment.
Okay, so alignment is next.
So I'll drop this down and have this aimed right at the flag I'm going at.
Okay.
And then I'll set this one 3 steps in front of the ball. Okay, need some help here.
Coach Kevin Kirk stepping in for the assist.
It's a lot easier when you have someone there to help you out. It's like, so I always try to get that just basically
in front of the ball.
Yeah, well, three steps, but just in between the ball and my foot line. And for me, I mean, I even do it with a glove, but it's really just trying to feel like I'm driving the pressure through the golf ball and letting the ball start just a hair to the right and fall back on the flag.
Okay.
I mean, as a drawer, it's a great look. And if I were to do it with fades, I'd do the same thing, but probably move the ball on the line, not on the right side of it.
Got it. All right, so you're trying to get this on the right side of that. Now, how does this help you to hit your draws? You don't want it starting on the left side, so this is really...
Well, yeah, you don't want it starting left, because then it's starting left and going left.
Okay.
And so for me, with having that visual out in front, it's all about visuals, because when you're on a driving range, it's wide open.
Yeah.
And to start a round, you want to have those visuals and shots, and for me, if I err, I'll get a little quick and kind of into the left heel, so the ball will go left.
Okay.
And so with having that rod there, and knowing I'm aiming square, because I mean, let's be honest, without having this down, I very easily could hit that to the right by aiming right.
True.
You're not doing anything. I mean, so with having this down, I know where square is, and now it's all right. I'm gonna use my weight transfer and drive into the ball down to right center, and allow it to start over there, rather than trying to throw it or all the other little tricks people didn't do on the range.
I think also too, like an amateur misconception is you're hitting down and the ball is still launching. Like,
well, the more you just, I mean, that's what you have loft for on golf clubs. If you have loft helps the ball go up. You don't ever help it up. It never works. Every person you see trying to help it up, they drop the shoulder, hit behind it, or they blade it.
Yeah.
And if they're actually, I mean, that's why we have 14 clubs, because you can use the loft to elevate.
Speaking of your 14 clubs, maybe we should get into that. Maybe we should do a little what's in the bag. I'd love for you to talk about these beautiful irons.
Oh, my babies. Yeah, so my Groundworks irons are,
Can we get a zoom in on these? This beautiful Groundworks PR101A, so no one can get these.
Those are on our website, groundworksusa.com. You can get them now.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, so.
Can you tell us, for those that don't know, this is a forged club. What's kind of the difference in the material from a forged to a cast iron? Or like...
What's the difference in the material? One's a one piece, and the casts are out of a mold, and the problem with the casts is you can't bend them. For a guy like me that's 5.5 flat, you try to bend a cast, you'll snap the thing in a heartbeat. I've done that multiple times with driving irons and 2 irons and things like that.
Now, what is flat? Let's show what people
So
mean.
Flat would be, so if that's neutral, flat would be down. So hands would be low.
So you keep your hands low.
Yeah, upright would be guys that go that way.
Now, how would I know, let's say I just picked clubs off the rack, and how would I know if I'm flat or I need my clubs adjusted?
The easiest test, you take a golf ball, you take a Sharpie, and you draw a line right through the name of it. Try to get it relatively straight. And I set it up where it's dead vertical, down your target.
Okay.
It's another thing I'd use my coach, because he's really good at it.
All right, Kevin Kirk coming in for the assist
Does
again.
That look good? Talking about that.
So it does help to have someone help you out with this.
So it needs to go that way?
Okay, perfect.
And so then when I hit
Thank
this, it should show the line of it, and if it's vertical on the grooves, then it's the correct lie. If it's that way, it's too flat.
Okay.
If it's angled this way, if that way, it's too upright. Now, I know my specs are correct because I checked them the other day, and watch, his line's going to be different.
We're about to check right now. Let's see. Beautiful.
A little off,
You
but
know
really
what?
close.
That's pretty close. That's pretty good.
So, I mean, but you'll get some people that the line, when they first hit them, they think, oh, well, I just hit everything left.
yeah.
And first thing they think is it's them. Well, if the club's like that, you're going to hit left.
Yeah.
If it's like that, you're going to hit it right. So, I mean.
Can we show that? Can you guys see that? That's really important because sometimes it is what? It's the arrow,
So, yeah,
right?
So if toe down, right?
Okay.
So if it's too flat, the line will go that way. That'll be flat. And that would be too upright if the line goes that way. And what you're looking for, obviously, is get that line as straight up and down as possible. And so because of that, I mean, just little things like that can change how people play. And every amateur I see when I'm out on the range, they never have a alignment rod down.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first spot you start, especially during warm-up, so you start seeing tendencies, but also with how wide open it is, it's hard to aim straight.
When you won the Masters, were you playing something like this? Were you playing your irons at that time?
Was not playing my irons. We did not have them out yet.
You didn't have them out yet?
No, so we were, we weren't in those yet. But these things, I mean, they've been amazing for me, especially with kind of how I've been swinging and everything.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to try to take the equipment out of it.
Yeah.
And with forged irons being one piece, it's almost impossible to get the center of gravity in the center of the club face, which would mean right in the sweet spot. And now with all the work we've done, we've been able to do that with my irons. And so, because I mean, a lot of them on forge are in the heel. So if you catch the ball in the center, it could act like a toe hit at times. But with mine being in the center, sort of trying to hit it, if you hit it there, whatever you did on your swing, that's going to make the ball go whatever you did.
And I don't know if you did this. Well, I'm sure you did. Your leading edge is kind of ground down.
Always.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so
now, is that part of the bounce, or can you show?
Yeah, no, so it's part of the bounce. I mean, you can see how, if you were to hold there, how straight it is. And I wanted it straight rather than rounded because of tight lies. And the easiest way to do that was to kind of grind a little bit on that leading edge, kind of give a little bit of bounce there. And so what it does is, because I'm able to do that, I'm able to flatten off the bottom more. So then the club will sit low. And so if it's soft and I'm going in, because of that bounce on the edge, it'll still exit. And if it's firm, because the leading edge sits lower, you're still going to get down to it, and it's not going to just skip on you.
Well, you've let me
hit
another one. You let me hit these clubs once, and I almost tried to take them away from you. But we have some highlights from your round today as well that I want to go through. When you hit irons like that, why don't you go for every pin? Foot on the gas the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pins I feel comfortable with. There's others that I'm just like, I just don't really feel the greatest at that flag. And depending on the yardage. I mean, on the range, you're swinging really free. I have no clue how far that's going.
Yeah.
I'd guess probably 148, 149.
Hit another one. Oh, well, we got highlights coming up.
But it's one of those. I mean, you just have to take your calculated risk, because if you miss it just barely off on some of the holes, then you're kind of in a bad position.
All right, we've got your hole 5 coming up. Tee shot at 5. Do you remember this
3-wood. Yeah, actually, I necked this one just a little bit, but we've been working really hard keeping it, like I said, so as long as the club stays in the center, I'm able, it doesn't matter if you hit it solid or not, it's going to go straight. And, I did the hard part there, was hit the fairway, and then from there, it's an easy little wedge shot.
Now we got your second shot.
We had a perfect number here, just hit a little soft 57, try to control the spin, try to fly the hair past it, which it did. And, because of the softness of the greens, you're able to kind of bring it back and leave yourself the uphill putt. And I think that's the biggest thing around this golf course, is leaving yourself the uphill putt. 5-foot uphill putt is a heck of a lot easier than a 5-foot downhill putt.
Right.
And a lot of people, like, oh, well, it's a 5-footer. Well, I mean, there's a lot harder 5-footers than others. You have the straight uphill one, and then you have the one downhill that breaks a cup. And people,
We got another one coming up. We have the 7th hole. So we have your drive and then your chip. You remember this one? You get a good drive here.
Yeah, we've been working on teeing it down a little lower and hitting the fade. And it's been kind of making me feel like I can make the same swing but teeing it lower, and it's just kind of peel and ended up perfect spot. And Yeah, we won't talk about the second shot, but we'll talk about the chip.
Not your second shot. We got your third shot though, which was sweet.
Yeah, this one it was green light special. I mean, the grain was going down grade, and you know, I thought I was going to go a hair right, and actually went pretty straight to almost a hair left. But you know, when I have a chip like that, especially with how much I've worked with my wedges and chipping, it makes it, you know, you're
well,
sitting there trying to make them.
Oops, we have another one. I saw your warm up this morning. That was unreal.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. But here's your hole 14.
Oh, 7 iron. Just a perfect number for a nice little tight draw 7. And this is just like a stock driving range swing right here, and ended up catching the right spot of that ridge and feeding right down to the hole.
That was beautiful. Beautiful shot.
Dead center. I was sitting there reading that putt. I was like, is this going to go right? And Kes goes, nah, I think it might go left. I was like, then he goes, I think it might go right as well. I'm like, okay. If I'm seeing one way, he's seeing another. Let's go straight. And usually 9 times out of 10, it doesn't move outside the hole.
All right, so now we're going to have some fun.
All right.
We've got some viewers that have sent in their swings, and let's be nice and analyze it.
Perfect.
All right, Mario Flores' 9-year-old son. He's got that Bubba step out. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, I mean, actually, because all that movement happens after the ball, he can do whatever. The only thing I'd like to see there is maybe hands a little higher at address.
Okay.
Because the hands are low right there, then, you know, he sets it on good plane, but with the lower the hands you get, the more you want to start the swing with your arms and not actually your chest.
Do you think at that age, like, he's making some adjustments for the club, and maybe
could be
doing the slide test could be a good thing?
That, and also if the clubs are a hair too long or too heavy, then your hands are going to kind of want to sag because you want to try to lift it with your legs. But he seems to stay in the golf shot nicely until the ball's gone.
Yeah. Big 4 Cheese, hey! My daughter is a fan of me. Thank you, guys. I've been playing for 4.5 years and climbing
nice
the junior
and sunny
ranks.
there.
Right? Let's go there. It's beautiful. Great swing.
Yeah, sends it nicely and clears. That's
solid.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about that one. Keep doing what you're doing. Live for life. Awesome. And 7-7 Herney, 8-year-old son Kurt, just making his way around. Look at him holding his balance.
So that's what I love to see with kids when the clubs aren't too heavy, is the backswing stopping and being in the right position at the top.
Okay.
Like me growing up, it was just kind of cut down the clubs, and so that it was too head heavy, so the club would always kind of get behind me because I couldn't get it up high enough.
Can we see it? Oh yeah. Can you show that again just so we can see it?
It just seems like a lot of times, like when I was younger, they just cut the clubs, heads were too heavy.
Yeah.
So they take backswing as a kid, and you get here and the club would kind of get back here, and then you're trying to yank it down. And now that they've made clubs that are light enough, the kids get able to get out there and get in the right plane off the bat. So you're starting with the right fundamentals right off the bat. I mean, that's stuff that I'd love to see, is be able to kind of get up there, get in the right spot, and go down. Because then from there, as you get stronger, bigger, older, I mean, you've already know that position.
Right.
Rather than hitting 1,000 balls as a kid where it's going that way. I was that kid. I was like over here.
Don't practice that too much, okay?
Oh, trust me,
hit some good one.
Hit
one last one for us. This has been great. Well, Patrick Reed, this has been a pleasure as always. I enjoy learning from you so much. So thank you. Thanks for your time.